Ah, Mother Russia, land of beautiful cathedrals, gorgeous women, the best vodka. And if you're lucky, you might come across Steven Seagal dancing in front of the crowd. Or you might come across this guy.
Cocainum.
Either way, Russia is filled with so many things, including women who want to meet a great guy in the States. Welcome to Dumb Down, a show where we watch movies, summarize them, in hopes of understanding them better. Today we dumb down The Russian Bride. A dark, twisted, and gory film that, I'm not gonna lie, it surprised the hell out of me. I got this thing at Walmart and I thought it was gonna be pure junk, and it ended up being quite the gem for a low-budget horror movie. Story starts off with this creepy old man lurking around the interwebs. He's searching for a companion. This guy is loaded with money. He has a pretty big mansion. But he's just missing that special woman that can please his Cocker Spaniel. As he's listening and checking profiles and swiping left because he's picky and wants a woman who could be young enough to be his daughter, he almost gives up. But there she is, the perfect one, Nina, a woman who loves to cook and is young enough for him to keep his creeper status up to date. He listens to the video and decides to match with her.
She's my sunshine. So, I hope you're there watching us now and like what you see.
Back in Russia, Nina's having problems of her own. The father of her daughter is always coked up and he's trying to force his way back into her life. But Nina's a strong, independent woman, and she ain't having this guy's crap, so he pushes him out on the street and tells her daughter that they're moving to America in search of a better life. But like anyone with common sense, Nina's sister starts asking questions that even I was asking. Like, why are you going to America to live with some guy you've never even seen in person? Who hasn't even traveled here? Why so soon? And she even tells him you have shit taste in men. I mean, just look at the kid's father. All of these are good questions. But Nina's like, no, this guy is a retired plastic surgeon. He cares about my daughter and would be an excellent father. So without any doubts, she goes to America.
Okay, USA.
She arrives at the airport to meet the creepy old man. And you know what? This movie almost had me fooled. Because for a large portion of the movie, this guy's doing pretty much okay. He's doing everything fine. He brings her flowers to the airport, tries speaking in broken Russian, has a chauffeur who takes him to the mansion, explains that the mansion is very far from society, so that means they have a lot of privacy, and even gives her daughter an amazing room to stay in. They even have dinner as a family. I mean, the creepiest thing that happens up until this point is that the dog almost attacks the little girl, Dasha, which gets resolved pretty quickly. But there is also a very, very awkward scene involving the creeper getting a blowjob from Nina. And this blowjob seals the deal because they get married right away. But as soon as they get married, shit goes downhill really, really quick. She finds out that he likes to use
Cocainum.
He's like, hey, I'm an old creepy guy. I should be allowed to use as much cocaine as I like to. Stop busting my balls.
But wait! There's more!
Also, the creeper sends his mute henchman to kill Nina's relative, only because he was asking too many questions at the wedding. So if you hadn't guessed it by now, this guy's a wacko. And he tries his best to hide it for the sake of the marriage. But nothing stays secret. Eventually the cops start knocking on the door, and they start asking questions. Questions like, there's someone who's disappeared. Have you heard of this guy? Nina knows who it is because it's a relative. So all of this is enough for Nina to start becoming suspicious. Oh, and I forgot to mention, the creeper almost tried killing her when they were riding on a horse. Makes the horse run faster, she falls off the horse and gets hurt. By this point, I would have taken my daughter and run the hell out of this mansion. Actually, I would have run out of the house at the beginning of the movie when she said they're far from society. I've seen plenty of horror movies to know that this is the point where you run like hell. But because our protagonist is very naive, and the script requires her to be that way, she stays. But she does do a few smart things, like asking the mute guy about the creepy old man's past, and even the mute guy befriends the daughter, starts seeing a soft side to him. In one of the best scenes of the movie where the mute guy and Dasha, they start watching an old Frankenstein movie together. It's actually a pretty good scene in the movie. But if you think that the movie was going to end right here, you're completely wrong.
No!
You're in for a big surprise.
So, the plot thickens.
During dinner, the bride confronts the old man.
You never wanted a wife, did you?
No, but I have to admit you made a believer out of me. Devoted wife, wonderful mother, and you give a mean blowjob.
And after a brief conversation involving cannibalism,
Would you kill me and eat me for Dasha's sake?
Nina says enough is enough.
I'm taking Dasha, and we are leaving.
But she spoke too soon. Because the old man hits her over the head with a bust statue and knocks her out cold, and puts her in the freezer to cool off. But eventually she manages to escape by using a crowbar and breaking down a brick wall. She crawls out and arms herself with a shotgun. Nina tries confronting the old man by pointing the gun directly at him, but this guy's freaking nuts.
Pull the fucking trigger! Do it!
He yanks the gun away from Nina and begins to taunt her and asking her, hey, we can work this out, I'm just a creepy old man. And since Nina just wants to get her daughter and get the hell out of the country maybe, so the creeper pulls the trigger and blows off her fingers. But no need to worry, because our beloved bride survives to fight another day. The old man for some reason decides to let her live, and only because the script requires her to stay alive. His excuse is that she's a mother and it's important for her to be there for Dasha. And I don't disagree, but keeping her alive is what causes this old creep's demise. And thank God, because we're dropped with the mother of all twists. We already knew that he never wanted to get married with her. The question is, what did he want? We find out that he has a child that was born sick and needs several organ transplants. He can never find a match for the kid legally or illegally, not until he found Dasha. So right around now you might be asking, how does he know that this girl's compatible with his son? How did he have the son hidden in the house and Nina not finding out that he was living there? How did the father get a group of doctors so quick? Well, to that I have to say,
stop asking so many fucking questions.
All you need to know is that this mute guy has a change of heart and decides to help Nina and Dasha, but it's short-lived because the creepy old man shoots him, and Dasha goes back into the operating table. Meanwhile, Nina's trying to get out of the room in a wheelchair, but it's complicated because she was injected with some morphine, but Nina crawls her way towards a jar of
Cocaine.
She almost has it. She can't reach, but wait. For some reason, the movie decides to introduce the ghost into this story. Literally, into the climax of the story, we find out that it's the ghost, the ex-wife of the creeper.
You must be kidding, aren't you?
No, I'm not even kidding. This movie goes from being pretty much okay into supernatural shitty territory. She gets the coke and snorts it, making her, for some reason, one badass Russian bride. And as you know, in Russia, you don't kill bride. The bride kills you. The bride goes to the shed and arms herself Evil Dead style.
Groovy.
And now she's ready to end this once and for all, killing all one by one in gory fashions. And somehow we are to believe that Nina and Dasha are going to be living happily ever after. I mean, how? I mean, we see the police arrive, but how is she going to explain that it was all self-defense? She killed all the witnesses.
Stop asking so many fucking questions.
This was The Russian Bride, dumbed down, a gory movie that ended up surprising me, even if it had some dumb things like supernatural shit that really led to nothing. But enjoyable nonetheless. Make sure to like, subscribe, share with all your friends. Until next time.
See ya! Bye! Get the fuck out of here.